everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Rai. Thank you so much for stopping by. I will not take too long on the intro, so let's get straight into the video.
I just gotta let you know. Girl, you got a body like so rock star. Every time I bring you round, the homies wanna watch ya. Got it from your mama, but that ain't what she taught ya.
As you can tell by the title, I am making this video about my experience with the Nexplanon birth control and how I found out I was pregnant while using it. So, I started, Nexplanon was not my first birth control method. First, I was taking birth control pills and I hated it because I felt so many different emotions. I was always moody and I felt depressed while I was taking it. It got to the point where I was seeing a therapist, and as soon as I stopped taking those pills, it's like a flip switched. I don't know, everything changed. I just went back to normal. I was feeling more happy. I was eating more. I had lost my appetite and everything while I was taking the pills. It was crazy. So I was, after the pills, I was not using a form of birth control for a long time. If I was having sex, it was just with condoms. I was not using a pill or anything. And then I decided to go with birth control again, but I did not want the pill. I was pretty sure that I was not going to get the pill. So I did my research and I kept on seeing an ad for Nexplanon, and I was just like, let me check it out. So I did my research and everything, and I read all the side effects, and I was already used to having an irregular period, and it said that it would cause irregular periods or stop your periods from coming altogether. It will stop your periods from coming altogether. So I was just like, all right, I can deal with that. And I went ahead, I made an appointment at Planned Parenthood, and I got the implant right under my arm, right here. And it was actually pretty painful. I had so many friends who had the Nexplanon implant and they told me it was not painful. They lied. It was so painful. I was clenching my teeth so badly. They give you this little card, and I don't know where I put it. I was just looking for it, but I don't know where I put it. I might have thrown it away. But anyway, so I got the implant. It was pretty painful, and she put it somewhere that I was questioning her. Do you usually put it that low? Because all of my friends, theirs are right here in their arm, right here, right there, no lower. And mine was literally under here. Is that the scar? I don't think you can see the scar, but it was somewhere under here, under my arm. So anyway, I continue on. I had gotten it right after my period, so I had to wait at least a week. They told me to wait at least a week before having unprotected sex or anything like that. So I actually waited, me and my boyfriend actually waited almost 2 weeks, probably a week and a half before we even tried it, because we were so scared. We didn't really trust the birth control, so we were just waiting. And so about probably it was a week and a half, so I'd say about 2 weeks after getting the implant, I just started feeling so different. I felt sick all the time. I felt so nauseous, so dizzy. tired. I was just not feeling like myself. I was just feeling sick all the time, and I usually don't feel sick. Like, I'm the type of person, if I feel sick, it'll probably be just a headache or I'm just tired. But I won't feel like loss of appetite, nausea, dizziness, stuff like that. So I was really concerned, and I expressed my concern to friends who also had the Nexplanon, and they were like, oh, don't worry, it's just the birth control, like you're gonna get used to it, it's new, so it'll like wear off, blah blah blah. So I was like, alright, fine. So I waited probably another couple weeks, and it felt like the symptoms were just so like, no. Okay, so I waited probably another week, and during that week I started to feel better. So I was like, okay, maybe they were right, maybe it was just the birth control. So another week goes by, and that's when I start feeling like 10 times worse, and I'm just like, boy, like what is going on? I went to the Planned Parenthood. I made an appointment to get the Nexplanon removed because working was so hard. Like, getting up to go to work, I couldn't eat. I was not eating anything. I was so nauseous, so dizzy, so tired that I just wanted to stay home. I didn't want to get out of bed. So I was just like, I can't live my life like this. I went to the Planned Parenthood. And they asked me why I wanted to remove the Nexplanon, and I told her these symptoms are too severe. I cannot stand them. I just want it out. Like, I just don't want it anymore. I want to go back to normal. And she was like, you know, you've only had it for about a month now. Maybe you should wait about 3 months because that's when the symptoms subside, blah blah. And I was just thinking, like, should I wait or should I just get it taken out right now? And she convinced me, so I waited. And so I waited and I waited. I think probably a couple weeks go by, and I'm just like, no, nothing is feeling better. Like, I'm not feeling any better. I'm just feeling worse and worse. And people at work, they would notice my mood. They noticed that I wasn't as lively as before. People would tell me, you look really sick. And you know, it's really annoying to hear that when you're already feeling it, you know? So I'm just like, okay, this time I'm going to Planned Parenthood. I don't care what they say. I'm getting this shit out today. So I made another appointment. I got there, went through the same thing. I told them I'm not feeling this Nexplanon. Like, I want it out right now. I do not like the symptoms. Please just don't try to convince me. I had an appointment. They convinced me. I'm not gonna be convinced this time. Just take it out. And lo and behold, they convinced me again. Just wait. Maybe your body just needs to get used to it. Just give it a little more time, blah blah blah. So I'm like, okay. Then I noticed my period was late, and I already knew that I have irregular periods. So I was just like, all right. I noticed that my period was late for a long time, but I was just like, maybe it's the Nexplanon, because I had gotten the Nexplanon right after my last period. So I was like, okay, maybe the Nexplanon was blocking this period, because the symptoms or the side effects were that it could stop your period altogether. So I didn't think too much about it. I was like, oh, it's the Nexplanon, that's why I didn't get my period. So I had ended up talking to someone from Planned Parenthood on the phone, and I asked her if it was normal that my period stopped altogether, like the first period after Nexplanon. And she said that everybody's different. Everybody's different. Everyone has a different reaction to things. So I can't say if it's normal or not, because everybody's different. So I was like, okay, all right. So So it got to the point where I was just like so paranoid in my head. Like I started asking myself, is this because of the Nexplanon or am I pregnant? And the latter was just ringing in my mind, like, am I pregnant? Am I pregnant? I was so paranoid that I was pregnant. And I just had a feeling like deep down inside, I knew that I was pregnant. And whenever I expressed this to people or my boyfriend, they'll be like, no, you're not pregnant. It's the birth control. One night, me and my boyfriend were going to the movies and I was just like, why don't we stop at Walmart to get some snacks to go to the movies so we don't have to buy snacks at the movies? And he's like, okay, fine. So we get ready. No. So we went to Walmart, and while we're at Walmart, you know, I still had that just nagging in the back of my head, like I might be pregnant. So I went to like the aisle where they sell pregnancy tests and etc. And I told him like, let's just get one, even though like, you know, I'm not pregnant. Let's just get one to make sure I'm not pregnant, like just to know for sure. And he was like, okay, fine. So he got someone, because they had it in like those plastic cases, whatever. He got someone to like get it for us, whatever. And so we got one. And on the way home, I was just like praying. I was so scared. I did not want the test to be positive. So we get home and immediately like I ran to the bathroom and I peed on one of them. It came with two. I peed on one. And it came back with one strong line and one very, very faint line. And I was just like, no. I took it wrong, or maybe I held it upside down or something. Like I did something wrong. So I didn't want to take the second one yet, because I was like, no, this one is wrong, you know. And my boyfriend came, he just looked at it, he was like, yeah, maybe, I was like, yeah, maybe you did something wrong. Like, when you take the second one, don't pee on it, like pee inside of something and then just stick it in. So I was like, okay, yeah, that's what it is. Like, I just took it wrong. And so we went to the movies because I just didn't want to take the second one yet. So we went to the movies, and while we were at the movies, I could not stop thinking about the test, because I was just like, that was positive. Like I knew in the back of my head that it was for sure positive. No sugarcoating, no lying, no faking it. It was positive. It was positive. So I was just thinking about it, like, am I really pregnant? Like, there's no way I'm pregnant. My parents gonna kill me. Like, how am I gonna tell my family? Because my family, they're really, I'm from the Caribbean, so if you're from the Caribbean, you understand. And I'm only 20 years old, so I was just freaking out, like, how am I going to tell my family? And I was just like, you know what, just don't think about that right now. Maybe the second one will come back negative. So as soon as we got home, like at the movies, I made sure I drank so much soda. Like I had the big cups at the movie theaters. I had a big ass cup and I drank. So we got home and I was so nervous. Like I was shaking just thinking about taking the second test, and my boyfriend was actually the one who was pushing me to take it. So I was like, all right, I did it, and this time 2 strong lines, and I actually have the pregnancy test. Okay, so they look really weird now because they're old. They're old, but my boyfriend wanted to keep them because this is our first child. So this is both of our first. So this was the first one. And then this one? What's the second one? So, yeah. When the second one came back with 2 strong lines, my stomach did a flip. Like, I just felt my stomach drop. And I looked at my boyfriend and I just was like, I was smiling because in certain situations when I don't know how to react or what to do, I just smile because I don't know, like, what should I do? So I just smile. I smile a lot. And I was just smiling at him like, what are we gonna do? And he asked me like, are you okay? And I was just like, yeah, I'm fine. And I'm like, are you okay? Because he just had like a blank expression, and that scared me so much because in my head I was like, I'm gonna have this baby. Like, it's my, I mean, I was already prepared. Like from the first test and going to the movies, everything, I already knew that I wanted to have the baby. So when he had that blank expression on his face, so many thoughts went through my head at the same time. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be a single mom. I'm having this baby no matter what. And like all those thoughts were just rushing through. And he's just standing there with this blank expression. And I'm like, are you good? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. And he just walks out the bathroom. I'm like, oh my gosh, please do not walk out on me or break up with me or just disappear from my life because we're having a child, because you know a lot of guys do that. So I followed him out the bathroom and I was like, I don't know what you're thinking right now, but I just want you to know that I'm gonna have this child, so I need to know what you're thinking. And then he was just like, you know, I'm just thinking because I wasn't ready to be a father. And I'm like, I wasn't ready to be a mom either, but you know, you're never truly ready to be a parent. But it happened, and now we just need to deal with it. We can't do anything about it now. So what you want to do? And he's just like, whatever you want to do, I'm gonna be there. I want to do it too. And I was like, okay, so we're doing this. And he's like, all right, we're doing this. Anyway, I made an appointment at Planned Parenthood to get the implant removed. And when they asked me why I wanted to remove it, because it obviously wasn't expired yet, so I was just like, I'm pregnant. I kid you not. Everybody in that office was looking at me like, bitch, what the fuck? Everybody. If somebody was walking behind me holding a folder or something, not behind me, like behind the glass holding a folder or something, they stopped. Someone was typing, they stopped. Whatever they were doing, they stopped, and they all turned and looked at me like, what? Like, how? And I'm just like, I don't know. And they didn't believe me, so they did a confirmation. They made me pee, and they confirmed it. And the doctor was just like, I don't know how this happened. You're like the 1%. And I'm like, I know that. Like, and I'm like, do you think the placement had something to do with it? Because like I said before, it was under my arm. And she did say that she's never seen it placed that low before, but she doesn't know if that had an impact on whether, you know, like towards my pregnancy or not. And she was just confused. She was like, I've never met anyone who's gotten pregnant off of this. So then I got it removed. This was the worst part because it was so much more painful than the insertion. So like I was saying, the removal was so much painful than the insertion. And it took her like almost an hour to get it out because she said it was in such a weird place and she had never seen it inserted in that area before. Like she was having the hardest time taking it out, and it wasn't just her. She had like an assistant with her. It was like the doctor and the doctor's assistant. I don't know. And it was both of them, and they were trying so hard. There was so much blood. It was so painful. But I don't know, maybe I had a bad one, like maybe it was expired or there was something wrong with it, or maybe it was the placement. I don't know, but that's the story. That's how I found out I was pregnant on the Nexplanon implant. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions or concerns, or if you got pregnant while using the Nexplanon as well, comment down below, because when I tell people I was using the implant, usually I'll have like 1 or 2 people like, wow, really? Like, I know someone else who got pregnant while using the Nexplanon. I'm just like, well, you don't say. I thought I was the 1%. So if you've had this experience with Nexplanon, please comment down below. I would like to know your experience as well. And if you have any questions or whatever, leave me a comment down below and I'll be sure to respond to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like I said in the beginning, my name is Rai. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.
I can be your sugar when you're feeling for that sweet spot. Put me in your mouth, baby, and eat it till your teeth rot. I can be your